Hey guys, it's Chris from 509 BMX Restoration. And if you watched our last video, we did a fork, stem, and headset install. Turned out good, dude. All right, so this video is for your bottom bracket. I know a lot of people get nervous about, doing stuff like this if they haven't done it before. And it's all good, man, no worries. I'm going to show you how. So watch the last video because some of that is prep for the bottom bracket. We cleaned it out, smoothed it out, and put a little grease in there already. So she's prepped and ready. And also on the other video was our tool we use. So we just run this the other way. We run it flat instead of like that. We just run it backwards. Okay? Now, you need to learn how to pick out your bottom bracket. You need to, they need to match your cranks. You can have 19 millimeter, 22 millimeter, 24 millimeter. They're going up to like 30, 35 millimeter, but those are newer, obviously. The ones you're going to use the most are 19 and 22. That's what I use on the daily. Okay, so now with the Power Series cranks, these GT Power Series cranks, I love these cranks. These are the cranks I use on all GT branded stuff, man. Street race, like I love these things. These are the chromo ones. The chromo ones are just like profiles. So if you can't find profiles and you want profile cranks, get the GT Chrome Molly cranks. They're 48 spline, they're rad. These are, dude, I love these. They're 22 millimeter aluminum cranks. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna need a 22 millimeter bottom bracket. And all these old school bikes, they're American bottom brackets. That big old opening, that's American bottom bracket opening, okay? Until you get in newer bikes, you're not gonna have to worry about anything else. Just worry about the size of your BB and that it's American style, okay? So we got the tool, we got our cranks, 22 millimeter cranks, and we got our 22 millimeter bottom brackets, okay? We got Technique 22 millimeter bottom brackets. Aluminum cups and all that. Like, man, these are nice, man. All sealed, nice bearings, okay? We got grease in there. So it's all lubed up and ready. Now you put your bearing on your tool. And then you're gonna do the same on the other side. Have all your stuff ready for your tool. This can get a little, this washer and this nut and stuff. It can, I know they have ones that have two of these turn handles. I might upgrade to one of those at some point. Okay. Put that there. Okay. So really just line them up. Just like we did the headsets. I'm doing both right here at the same time. Okay. Put your piece flat against it, your washer, and then your nut. and just get it at just a little finger tight. Right now is where you're lining everything up to go in good. Wiggle, line up, tighten a little until everything's seated. You could start it usually with no wrench. Look, these are going in like butter. Yes, nice. So I smoothed it all out. I greased them. Nice. Now every bearing's different, man. Like these aren't aircraft parts, you know, and this is BMX. Technically kids bikes. So every bearing's going to be different. These Technique ones went right in, man. They're right on. Wow. That's super nice. Their measurements are spot. So I guess go get yourself a Technique bottom bracket, man. That's really nice. You pay for quality though. They're not cheap, you know. I expected those to be precision and they are. I like that. Okay, so bottom bracket. Look how easy that was, dude. Like, you can't argue that. You just watched me pop them right in. And if I miss anything and you need anything answered, just message me, dude. Okay, so get your right crank arm. Every crank's different. Every crank arm's different. They'll be labeled somewhere with an R or an L. Okay, obviously your drive side, right side. Go ahead and pop your axle in here to line everything up. Make sure you have your appropriate spacer in here. It's an adapter. Make sure, dude. If you buy these aftermarket, you know, they're not going to come with this. Go to Pork Chop BMX or somewhere and find the appropriate adapter for the size hole on your chain ring to fit the size of your axle here. So I got that all lined up. Now you got your bolt here. Get that started. It can be kind of a... This is NOS. It's never been used before. So they can be a little snug to get started. And try to hold it in place so they're not moving around too much getting scratched. Because the money side is this side, of course, so you don't want a bunch of moving around. So I tighten this with the spindle in place, holding everything like as a jig. That's going to make sure you're good to go. And then I leave it just a little loose because I'm going to take this out, take this back out, set this aside somewhere safe. Okay. I feel like these spindles always have a bite to them. It's this coating they put on it. It's super smooth and nice, but I feel like there's a bite to it I don't like when installing. So I just smooth it out just a little bit. I think this makes a big difference when I install everything. And then I grease it. You're not really removing much, man. You're just smoothing it. A little Scotch-Brite. action. You could do this by hand, of course. I don't spend too much time on this. It's just a little extra step I do for install. Okay, wipe it off. I put a little grease on there, just a little, and then just rub it in. You don't really need much here. That'll get you going, man. I've never seen anyone else kind of do it like that, but that's how I do it. I also come from building like Harleys and stuff too. I used to build some Harleys. Sometimes I can be a little precise, but that's the quality, you know? I've always been high quality. And just cover that whole bearing in grease. Put a layer all over it. Inside, outside. Because the grease on the outside, it doesn't need it to function. That's going to be a dust barrier, dude. You know? You want that. That little moon dust. It'll get you. It'll make its way in there. So when you're doing your maintenance, you would pop off your dust caps. Okay? Because these caps are going to go on, the small cap goes on drive side. The big cap, end cap for your bearing, goes on non-drive side. That's going to help that grease in there sandwiched between the bearing and this is going to be like a dust shield. And once you do this enough, it's nothing just popping your cranks off, cleaning them, re-greasing them, and putting them back. It's nothing. You'll do it fast. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. Usually, it's a snug fit. Really light taps. I'm barely hitting this. It's real light. Okay, and it looks about, it looks even, you could see, and that's my starting point. Like every bottom bracket is different. Every part you ever buy, every brand, it's always so different. So these have these bigger end caps. Okay, so I'll pop them on. See how nice these are? Super nice stuff, man. Good for you technique. I've always liked them. I haven't used a ton, but back in the day, man, like I use technique, and now I'm like, man, yeah, their billet stuff super cool. At Billet BMX, super cool billet stuff. I almost thought people forgot about billet for a while, man. I was like, come on, man, give us some more billet. What are we supposed to do with these 90s builds, you know? We need billet. The 90s, man, if you don't know, was billet everywhere. Our trucks, our cars, our bikes, or everything had billet on them, man. Your mini trucking with billet wheels, you know, all these bikes, we had tons of billet. Okay. Let's see, how's that gonna work out here? Where's that other arm? Okay. And then I won't stagger these or nothing. I'll put them on the same. I like to size them like this. Kind of match them up like this. Because right now, what you're trying to do is get your gap. I use my finger. You want to go between your frame leg and where your pedal goes on both sides. They're very, very close. I might not use, I don't know, I might not use that cap. I'm trying to think here, man. I think it's a little too big. It's a little too much. And see, you don't know until you start diving into something. Now I got to get that out of there somehow. Let's see, where's a razor blade? So you're getting all this on camera, which is good, dude. So you can see I have issues too. This is a brand new bottom bracket I've never have used. But we're on the hunt for like the best purple pieces we could find. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find a different cap for this side. I thought I had one. All right, guys. We had a little issue with the spacers on each side of the bottom bracket. These are way too big. You'd have to get a whole different spindle. They don't tell you that. So we use the smaller one on the non-drive side as decoration, pretty much. Because you want to make sure your cranks go on and everything's pretty even with the spindle, and then you still have room to tighten them. So we're sitting good right now. It can take a little trial and error when you're doing cranks. It's never gonna be exactly the same, especially when you're using different parts. You have to make other parts work with other parts, which isn't always cut and dry, you know? And then, see, I got them both with the same little gap, you know, maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little shy. on each side. And then these will be nice, even, perfect. Okay? So then what you're gonna want to do is get your bolts here. Put a little grease. Go ahead and just start them by hand. It don't take much. You just want to make sure these never get stuck, man. What a ruined day that would be. You know, you go to do maintenance on it or something, and you can't get them out. Shit, that would suck. All right. Now this is the first thing you want to tighten here. Let's see, I got the right size. That's for that. Okay. Where are we at here? So tighten these first. Now don't go real tight. Get them where they stop and give it a little twist. Just want to see how that goes there. Okay, and then everything's all nice, lined up. You want to tighten that back bolt now to your chain ring. This is when I tighten it. So I know it's all installed good. Everything's lined up. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now tighten until you have no play in here at all. Spin them around. Make sure everything's good. Okay, see, so we have a tiny clearance issue here, real small. So we're gonna back this out. Okay. Make sure you set all this stuff somewhere clean. It has grease on it. You don't want to get nothing in there. Okay, pop that back off. Because right now, what you're doing is just a constant test fitment until it's perfect. Okay. We need a 22 millimeter spacer, a real thin one. Which these cranks are supposed to have. But for some reason, they did not have it. I hope I have one. I thought that was small. Let's see here. Okay, so I keep all my spacers, dude. Keep them. Look how little this, just super thin spacer, okay? That right there fixes our clearance issue. So the bolt was just hitting the very edge of the bottom bracket. That's the stuff you have to catch now. Okay. Nice. Now we're talking. All right. And then that's not going to change that little tiny spacer, man. This looks good. Everything still lined up. All right. Let's go ahead and put this bolt back on. You're going to run into lots of little stuff like this. You know, sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. But that's normal. That's totally cool. That's what's up with building custom. You're not using one brand, you know. You're mix and matching parts. So you want to get to know your spacers. There's a lot of different kinds, from spacers to fit different chain rings onto different spindles and all that. And then to get your spacing on your arms and everything. And you can get those all from like Pork Chop BMX. They have all those adapters, all those spacers. Okay, I think this is good. Cool. I think that feels great, honestly. All right, so once you have those tightened, there's no jiggle, everything's lined up, perfect. Then go ahead and get your inside bolt tightened first. Let's move this away from the powder coat. How about that? It sucks when you go this far and then like, man, you scratch something. Just take your time. Okay, so you got your inside bolt tightened. Man. It's only a pain when you're on camera, I swear. Come on. Okay. Then go ahead and hit your outside one. Then spin it around. Now check your inside one more time. And then the outside one more time. And you don't have to go crazy torque on these, man, you don't. Just tight. Both of them are even tightness. Then go ahead and do the same to your non-drive side. Hopefully these videos are helping people. Be kind of cool to put on. You could play it on TV or whatever while you're doing your project, and it'd help you out. And it is always good to have Yeah, have your extra spacers, have your extra parts, man. Think ahead of time if you can on ordering some of that stuff. And then having an extra bottom bracket, certain parts laying around, could save your days sometimes. Dude, that's nice. No wiggle. Nice and smooth. Cool, dude. Look at that. Boom. That's money right there. Awesome. Well, shit, guys. That wasn't too bad. Had a little hiccup, but I showed you guys how to fix that. You know, just a little tiny clearance issue. All right. Cool, man. Well, that's our bottom bracket and crank install on the Auburn. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it helps you on your own projects. I appreciate you guys if you could share with your like-minded BMX friends and stuff. That's why I do this, to help people. Maybe get a few extra followers along the way. Yeah, dude. So keep following along. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we just got a website up, 509bmx.com. That's where we're going to be putting our shirts. And the only place you're going to find our bikes for sale from now on is going to be on our website. No more eBay. No more none of that. So yeah, have a rad one.